because when I looked back, I'm like, how did I pay off that much?
Wow.
Working the hours I was working.
On top of your bills and stuff too.
Yeah, working what I was working, what I was getting paid at the time, I wasn't even making that much money.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, I paid off that much. I don't even make that much.
What's going on, everybody? Steve here at Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com, coming back to you with another video. And I am here with a longtime friend, subscriber, lost sister. I don't know what you want to call it, but we've been friends for how many years now? A couple of years?
At least 2, I would say.
Yeah, so you were watching my YouTube videos, and I don't know, what drew you to my channel? Were you doing clothing or?
I wanted to do a little bit more clothing, and now I've kind of decided I don't really like it.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah. Well, make me cry in the first part of the video. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't. It's. Anyway.
Do you sell clothing now still?
I do some.
Yeah.
But I'm not actively sourcing it just because I don't want to continue doing it. So I'm trying to clear out what I have so that I can start putting more of the stuff that I do enjoy, which is like smaller things that will fit in a small mailer, or, you know, I don't like packing big boxes. And as far as clothing goes, I don't like the measuring and, you know, going through everything and checking all the details and the patterns and the styles and keeping up on fashion.
I loved it at first, but it got old quick.
Yeah.
So you have a YouTube channel as well. Do you want to share that? I know it's not like a reselling channel.
Yeah, and I have 2 YouTube channels.
Share them.
Actually.
Come on, let the people know.
So I have Clearing Clutter for Clarity.
I love it. Say that 5 times.
Yeah, I can't even say it 5 times. Clearing Clutter for Clarity.
I think I tried to say it on Instagram one time like 5 times and I couldn't.
Yeah, and then I think he just said, I'm just going to call you CC. I'm like, okay, well, whatever works. So I have that one, and that's more like getting rid of clutter, and that's more like my journey because I have a lot of stuff that I ended up with after I had a lot of debt.
Okay.
So it's like, it's that journey, but then I made an Instant Pot video.
Okay.
And all of a sudden it's like everybody's subscribing because of the Instant Pot.
What's Instant Pot?
It's a pressure cooker.
Okay, I had no idea.
It came out like 3 years ago.
Guys, you know what I'm talking about. Zach, did you know what an Instant Pot was? Okay, thank you.
So it's a pressure cooker, and I got this thing and I was like, this is awesome. And I think I was trying to find videos and I couldn't find any on it, or any that were real explanatory. And so I just decided to make my own video, and all of a sudden it's like everybody's subscribing because of the Instant Pot.
Did that video take off like crazy?
I think I checked it the other day, and I think it has around like 300,000 views.
Wow.
But it's from 3 years ago.
Hey.
You know, like all my other videos, I have like
to get all your 100. Instant Pot needs met, I'm gonna put a link down below. But anyways, enough of this Instant Pot talk. People are here, okay, because they want to know about your story, okay? Because you said you were in debt, right?
Yeah.
You were in debt and you accumulated all this clutter, and then essentially you went from all of that to starting up multiple businesses. You have eBay business, Amazon business. I think you said you stopped Etsy. You're doing Poshmark.
Right.
Right. And you're working part-time. She's a part-time reseller, also a part-time, whatever you want to call it, working in the 9 to 5 hustle grind, just working a normal job. But she has desires of going full-time, but she's kind of hitting some challenges and so on and so forth. So let's start with your story, and then we'll transition into that. So how did you get yourself into debt? What happened?
Okay, well, let's just backtrack just a tiny bit.
I got excited.
So the other channel, I've just changed the name because ever since I started it, I have not liked the name on it.
Okay.
And I thought, I'm going to eBay Open and people are going to be like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
You know, that name. So I changed it to Taranis Studio. And because Taranis was taken.
Yeah.
So that's the other channel, and that's what my Instagram handle is as well.
Perfect.
So, and I have a few videos on there, like talking about how I do my budget, but that was a long time ago. I got into debt from the time I was 18.
Credit cards?
Credit cards, department stores. I had a car, like anything and everything. I mean, I ended up in so much debt.
We don't learn about this stuff in school. I really honestly feel like it. Like I'm sympathetic to it.
I wish that they would teach us. So I didn't know anything. I didn't have good teachers in that. And so I had lots of debt, lots of clutter. I'm trying to think back
it's all
to
good. I mean,
how this all started. I worked 2 jobs. I've always worked 2 jobs, actually. I've always had a full-time and then a part-time job. Always done it. I hustled as a little kid. So the second job was always meant to be to pay off the debt. But it's almost
First job, pay your bills. Second,
yes.
take
Yes.
the extra income and pay off that debt so then you could get to a point where you could make a move.
Right.
Yeah.
And that never happened. It's like the more money I made, the more I spent. I wasn't saving. I wasn't doing anything the way that I should. And so it was probably, well, let's see. I started eBay in 2002. And that was when people were sending money orders and checks and cash in the mail.
I remember those days.
So that's when I started eBay.
Not that long ago, but I still remember like it was even like 2007 and 8, I think they were still doing that.
Really?
I think so. I really feel like that.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
that's
know.
when you started, right?
Well, I started
Around there?
like 6 years ago.
Okay.
So
I
no,
thought it
not
was a
even,
little bit
no, I started in
longer.
like 2012, 13.
Okay.
Yeah. But I
So-
messed with like eBay, just like buying and like selling a random thing, you know? So.
Okay. So yeah, I started way back then, and then pretty soon after that, I started selling stuff. And I was like, this is pretty cool. I was using an old computer that had dial-up, AOL.
Those noises that used to come out of that machine. Why? Can I ask someone in the comments? We've flown to the moon. We've done so many amazing things. Couldn't they have made a better noise to come out of that thing when you were signing in?
Sounds like a robot or something. Yeah, so I was using AOL, and we didn't have YouTube at the time, and so I got a lot of information from Suzanne Wells. I'm sure you are familiar with her. Suzanne A. Wells.
Yeah, no, I know Suzanne. I've been wanting to get on a video for a long time with her.
Yeah, so I would follow her blog. And I remember she would post things on there, and I remember there was this one day she posted some lotion. And she said, if you can find this, make sure you buy it. And I don't know how soon after it was, but I saw that lotion, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Is this the real thing?
Yeah.
And I bought everything on the shelf, and I sold each one for like $40.
No way.
I killed it on those, and then I never found any more after that. It was the weirdest thing.
And what were you paying for those?
Like $3.
Wow, 3 to 40.
Yeah.
So you were profiting like 25, 30 bucks.
I was making a lot of money on them, and they were selling
That's
fast.
insane.
So I would just go and find things that I could, get cheap and then sell for more. But, okay, so let's see, that was 2002, 3-ish.
Were there thrift stores? Were a lot of thrift stores? Because I didn't start doing this game until like 2012, 13. What were thrift stores like in 2002, 2003?
I didn't go to them.
So you didn't go to thrift stores. So
No.
you were just doing like RA. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Like I feel like
I loved it.
RA was invented in like 2015. It started popping off on YouTube.
Yeah.
But like you were doing it like holy
way,
crap.
way back. Yeah.
Jeez, she's like the pioneer of RA. Oh my gosh.
I was doing that thanks to Suzanne.
Yeah.
Like she
Big
was
shout out to
amazing.
Suzanne.
Yeah, definitely. So I learned a lot from her, and I just continued to do eBay here and there, but it was hard working the two jobs.
So eBay was kind of like on the side, Karen. You were just
total on
making
the
a couple
side.
bucks. You would find an opportunity. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I
All
just
right.
kind of dabbled in it. So, I wasn't like full force, like I got to do eBay. It was not like that at all. And I think it was 2006 or so, I decided that I wanted to get out of debt. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I have a lot of debt.
Was it
and
still stacking or was it kind of just stagnant?
It was, because I had an American Express card and I owed them so much, and I was so maxed out on all of my cards, and I probably had like 7 of them.
See, I've never been
plus a car payment and
I've
everything.
never been in credit card debt, but I know the interest rates are high. So what happens is you pay it down, but then the interest catches you back up, right?
Yeah.
So unless you're making a significant amount of income that you're putting towards it, then you probably never really get ahead.
It's really hard. So that one American Express card, I was paying over $300 a month in interest, late fees, and over the limit fees.
Jeez.
And then one other card had like a 30% interest rate.
That should be illegal.
Totally agree. So, I mean, I was in a really bad position, and I just was thinking, I'm like, I'm never going to get out of this. This is not good. So I thought, I'm really going to do it this time. And then I was driving a 12-year-old car, and it was paid for. I mean, I paid for it, so many years before. And stuff started happening with my car. I had to take out a loan from my boss because I had no credit cards available.
Oh, gosh.
So my boss loaned me $2,000 to fix my car. Mm-hmm. So I had to pay her back. No interest, no time limit. She's like, just pay me when you can. And I'm like, okay. So she was going to be the last one,
She was last in line.
I know. So let's see. I ended up switching my part-time job. I was working nights, weekends, nights. I was working a lot, but then in 2007, I was in a car accident. So my paid off car that was like the only thing that I had was considered a complete loss.
Wow.
And I'm in this position that I'm like, okay, now I have no car, no credit, high debt, and I need to get another car. And because my car was 12 years old, they wouldn't give me very much for it, even though I had full coverage, but they wouldn't give me very much.
And
I loved
nothing.
that car.
Yeah, sure.
So
worked well.
Then I had to find another car. I ended up taking out like an $8,000 loan, I think, which was the most that I could get, and a horrible interest rate. And I just thought, oh, okay, so another thing, after that car accident, my car was completely totaled. I had to quit my part-time job because I had injuries and I couldn't work. I could do my day job, but I couldn't do the night job because it was more like strenuous. It was in a bar. And so I had to quit that. And I'm like, I need the money to pay off my cards. I really need to do something. What can I do? And I thought, oh, I'm just going to fall back on eBay. I'll go back to eBay.
You had a little success in the past.
So
this is what, 2007?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, late 2007.
So what did you do? Like, what did you do with eBay?
I just started selling more stuff.
Where were you getting stuff from?
I had some of my own inventory because before this life, I was a couponer.
Oh, okay.
So I had a lot of things that I could sell from that inventory. But then I would go to a store that had a lot of good things, and I would find cheap stuff, and I just started selling it, and I was doing good.
What kind of store are you talking about? Don't just tease us.
It's like a liquidation store.
She's just like, hey, we'll do this store, and I'm like, well.
Okay, so I was also doing things like big lots.
Okay.
So closeout type stuff.
And I feel like there was probably a lot more opportunities back then because now with Amazon and you have all these resellers running around with apps and softwares.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So
What an unorthodox kind of outside of the box way of like sourcing back then.
Yeah.
Like you'd think most people would be doing like garage sales or thrift stores.
You're doing
RA back then before it even existed.
Yeah, I never did any of that. I didn't do thrift stores.
So talk about like building up your business on eBay at that time. So you made the decision, all right, I'm going to get back onto eBay. You're in debt. The car's all messed up. Now you got a loan. The debt's accumulating. You know you have to make a change. So talk about that because there's people out there I could guarantee you right now, they're in the same spot.
I would get as much like doing the retail arbitrage. I was going to different stores. Like if I found a product at Big Lots and I knew it would do well, I would go to all of the Big Lots. I would hit them all.
Yeah.
It's what people are doing now.
Yeah.
But I was doing it then, and I would not price my items the lowest. I think that hurts people. It hurts that seller and everybody else who's selling the same item. And it's like the race to the bottom.
And especially now, back then they didn't have repricers and stuff, but now you undercut somebody and then the machine will pick up on it and it drops the price.
Yeah,
just match the buy box.
Right.
If you're on Amazon, or just match the price on eBay.
And that was one thing that I learned from Suzanne was don't price the lowest.
Yeah.
You can go up. Don't be the highest. Don't be the lowest. Just stay right in the middle.
And that's a valuable lesson. Everybody thinks on Amazon it's a little different because like the lowest price a lot of times means everyone, for the most part, the lowest price is important. But on eBay especially, pictures, keywords, description, return policy, how fast you ship, but especially like pictures and details like that, you can demand a higher price. Also on eBay, I found being the lowest price, sometimes I feel like consumers, they think and they say, well, what's wrong with this item? Why is it so cheap? So it's like a depreciation of value in a sense. So
that's just kind of what I was doing at the time. And I remember taking my packages to the post office and I would hear this talk show on the radio. And there were these people doing these debt-free screams and, oh, I paid off, whatever $1,000 in debt. And I'm like, what is this?
Is this Dave Ramsey?
Dave Ramsey,
was it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So I'm working my day job, doing eBay on the side, and then I found Dave Ramsey just by chance. And I'm like, who is this guy? And I thought, I need to follow this plan. And so I started to. And I'm like, I am going to do this.
Yeah.
So in 2009, I started my debt-free journey.
Oh, wow.
And I had originally projected that it would take me about 3 years or 4 years or something like that.
Yeah, so 2012, 13, you were hoping to be debt-free.
I also started a blog at the time to document the journey. This was like, YouTube might have been out, but there was no way I was going to go on camera.
You're like, I'm
that's not going to happen.
So
I made videos and they were not showing my face because I was not cool with that. So let's see. I found him, started that, and it took me 16 months to pay off $24,000.
What?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Now, did eBay contribute to you being able to do that?
Yes, but I had another thing. It wasn't completely eBay, because when I looked back, I'm like, how did I pay off that much?
Wow.
Working the hours
on top
I was
of your bills
working,
and stuff, too.
Yeah, working what I was working, what I was getting paid at the time, I wasn't even making that much money.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, I paid off that much. I don't even make that much. Like, this is crazy. But I was doing some other stuff on the side. So I ended up doing house sitting, dog sitting, and caretaking for the same family.
She's like the ultimate hustle. You would never even like look at her and imagine it. And it's like, when you're sleeping, she's working.
Yeah. So it was all for the same family, but I feel really blessed that I had those opportunities.
That is amazing.
And I just threw every penny at the debt, every penny. And I became debt free, and then I made another goal. I'm like, I'm going to save money and I'm going to get rid of this car because it didn't have air conditioning.
Oh, geez.
And I live in Utah.
Oh, yeah.
So, 100-degree weather in the summer, no air conditioning. I was dying. But once I got out of debt and I made that goal to save money, I saved for, I don't know how long it was, but I saved the amount of money I wanted to save.
Yeah.
And once I got to that point, I was like, I'm not spending this money on a car. That's going to drain all the money that I have saved, and that's not going to happen. So I drove it for another 2 years, I think. And
you got sucked into the Dave Ramsey loop.
I did.
I'm a big fan of Dave Ramsey as well. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I drove it for another 2 years, and then I paid cash for my next car.
Wow.
It wasn't the one I wanted. I ended up with a 3-year-old Mini Cooper. But I paid cash.
But you're smart for not buying brand new, because brand new off the lot, you're going to get that instant 20% depreciation or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's cool. That's interesting. Big shout out to Dave Ramsey. And what was his program called for anyone in debt right now?
It's Financial Peace University.
You know what's funny? I think I found one of those at a thrift store one time. They're big. It's like a big little.
There's a workbook. Yeah, well, you can buy the whole kit.
Yeah, I found a whole kit and I flipped on Amazon for like $80 or something like that.
Yeah.
But after I sold it, I wasn't in debt at the time, but I was like, crap, I wish I would have kept that, because it was probably some really good stuff in there.
It's real beneficial. But even just, you don't have to take the program. You don't have to go through the class. You can just listen to it. It's very motivational, and that's what helped me. Just listening to that constantly, it's in my ear. And it's the same thing that like these kind of videos and watching people on Instagram do what they do, because it keeps you going.
Yeah.
You say, I want to do that. I want to be that person. And so you just listen to them and you're like, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Jim Rohn said you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with most, but I would even take it a step further and say you're the average of the 5 pieces of information that goes into your mind on average. Like whatever you're listening to or consuming, whether it's a physical interaction like this, or say we're having phone calls all the time, or I was just watching your YouTube video or whatever, like those messages, those thoughts are going to resonate. You're going to become whatever it is you consume in a sense. So if you want to change your life, if you're in debt, consume Dave Ramsey, right?
Yes.
Read books about that. Don't hang out with people or limit your time hanging out with people. Like I'm sure you probably had some influencers in your life who were negatively impacting those decisions, right?
Yes.
We don't have to get into that. But, I come from a background of, drugs and different things and hanging out with the wrong people. So to change my life, I had to change my environment. And it sounds like you did that as well.
Well, you've done a great job with everything that you've done. You've come a long way.
I appreciate that.
It's awesome. It's been fun watching your journey. It's really cool.
So I want to transition a little bit more over to, now that we've talked about your story and stuff, and I'm sure we could keep going, but I'm sure the people watching now are like, I want to hear some eBay content. So you're part-time working, part-time eBay. I'm sure you're doing a bunch of hustles on the side, knowing you now better in person. But what are the challenges that you're dealing with right now transitioning fully over to reselling, if you had to name like a couple that stand out?
It's just not having the time. You know,
time management?
Yeah. Time management is a huge one. You know, trying to take care of everything that you need to take care of. Everyone's in a different situation. And some people have families, some people
relationships,
have
kids.
And it all takes away from the time that you want to put into something.
I know.
It's really hard. It's hard to balance it all.
You know what I think it comes down to is priorities in a sense, right? Is figuring out, because really there's only so much time in the day. There's a million things you can do, but I think it's a matter of like really self-reflecting. Like something I've been doing a lot lately is just walking, like meditating, like thinking, like journaling and stuff, because I feel like so much like we're just like stuck in this loop of like our habits and our rituals, right? And we just do what we do because that's what we do.
Yes.
But we don't get the results we want. We have to really think and reflect upon, okay, you know, I want to go this direction in my finances, this direction in my career, but I can't keep doing what I'm doing. So.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's important to write down your goals. You know, they say, I don't know who says it, but...
Quote them.
I don't know who it is.
She's going to drop a quote right now.
No, I'm not, because I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad, but it's something like a goal that's not written is just a wish or something. It's something along those lines, and I can't remember what exactly it is or who said it, but that's basically what it is. Once you write it down and you can look at it every day and work towards it and say, what do I need to do to get there?
Yeah.
What are the steps? Then you can get there.
So same
thing I did with my debt free. I made a budget and I stuck to that budget. I sacrificed so much.
And one thing I want to mention as well, there's two types of goals. There's result-oriented goals and then there's process goals. I like to actually focus on the process goals, because I'm a huge like Tony Robbins, self-development, Brian Tracy, like I listen to all these guys.
Yes.
And a lot of times you get so caught up in like, I want to make $2,000 or I want to get out of debt. But in order to get that result, there's an action which follows a process in order to be able to get that. So like a goal could be, I want to list 5 items per day.
Yeah.
Right, or 10 items per day. Well, how am I going to be able to list 10 items a day? I only have time for 5. Well, then you ask yourself, what can I do? So maybe I could hire a virtual assistant, or eBay, they just launched the new, the user ability to add a user to your eBay account. So maybe you take the pictures, now you hire a VA in the Philippines, take the time to train them to do that. But I think time management does come down to, you know, process-oriented goals and then figuring out your values and stuff. It's tough though.
But it's hard. You want to give everything that you're doing enough time to satisfy it all. You know? It's hard to get it all done.
What other challenges besides time management? Is there any? Are you have a fear of not having that because working a job, there's that automatic guaranteed pay, whereas running an eBay Poshmark business, there's that risk. There's the upfront cash flow. Does that make you nervous at all? Or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, you have everything else that you're responsible for. You know, you have your taxes. You're going to have to pay higher taxes if you're working for yourself, and you're going to have to pay your own insurance, health insurance.
Yeah.
And there's just more things that come into play. So you can't just say, I need to make $2,000 a month or whatever it is. And once you hit that point, say, okay, I'm good. Because that's not realistic.
Yeah.
You need to add that 35% or whatever it is for the taxes, add the amount that you're paying for insurance, for health insurance, and that's expensive. You have to factor everything in and then get to that point, and I think keep that consistent, you know, continue doing that for an extended period of time so that you know you're okay, and definitely have savings in the bank.
For sure.
Because you never know if something's going to happen.
Murphy's Law, like, it's something along the lines of if something bad can happen or it will happen. I don't know. I am trying to say a quote. How are we doing on time right now?
We're at 25 out of 20.
All right, cool. So we got a couple more minutes. So yeah, like Murphy's Law says, if something bad can happen, it will, or what can go wrong will go wrong.
Yes.
I can promise you, for everyone watching, I don't care if you're running an eBay, an Amazon, or a couponing business, whatever you're doing, something bad is going to happen, and it's going to take you back 5 steps. So have that padding, have that cushion, get out of debt, start saving money, and don't just quit your job. Some people have done it, they can, God bless them, but for the average human being, things are going to go wrong. You don't want to quit your job until all your expenses are essentially paid and you've been doing it for a while. That's the advice that I would give. So I don't know where you are. I'm not going to dive into your personal finances and whatnot in this video, but yeah, get your business going to the point where it's paying all your expenses and stuff. Yeah. And then you're always going to have to take that leap of faith. There's no guarantees.
It's true. I think that it would be best if people don't go into debt in order to become resellers, and definitely keep your reselling separate. Keep your finances for your reselling separate.
Like separate
Open a
credit
separate
cards,
account. Do separate
bank
credit
accounts.
cards. Yes, because
I made that mistake for the first couple of years.
I did that in the beginning.
My dad was my CPA and he wanted to punch me in the face every time I saw him. So then eventually I'm like, all right, I got to fix this. And then I just moved on and whatever.
Yeah.
But big mistake, big mistake. If you get audited and you don't have those things separated, it's just going to be a nightmare.
You're trying to go through and you're saying, oh, well, I bought this at this store and I'm not sure what it was or what I paid. And then you're mixing your personal with your business in one receipt, and it just gets really complicated.
Yeah.
So definitely I would say keep them separate and get out of debt.
Yeah.
That's one big thing for me, is stay out of debt. It's not worth it.
Yeah. So hopefully this video inspired you guys. We talked a lot about her story. We gave some tips in terms of how to get out of debt and how you did it. Talked about some of your challenges and whatnot. And these are challenges that everybody's dealing with. But I have confidence in her. I want you guys to leave a comment and let me know what you thought about this video. I think she's going to crush it. I think you are.
I hope so. I'm working on it.
So
I want to have a full-time income.
You can definitely do it for sure.
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest things. We're here right now at the eBay Open.
Yes, first time for me.
But you're probably meeting people who are full-time sellers, part-time sellers.
Oh my gosh. The people here are amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is the place you want to come when you have fears, when you're nervous, when you're just starting to cross over into the light, or you're getting ready to have a breakthrough. Get around people who are already doing it.
Yep, like-minded people.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do this.
No,
It just takes hard work, effort. You've got to learn, grow, be willing to get back up when you make a mistake, and just glad to have you here. Finally
I know.
finally connected on a video. So any final last words of wisdom for the folks before this video?
From me?
Yep. Yeah, something.
I thought I just
we need
said
a quote.
it.
We need a quote.
A
We need
quote.
one more quote.
Oh, I don't have a quote. Stay out of debt.
I got one more thing to say to the people.
Okay.
Keep on picking and making that money, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.